Mr. Hale's yard and laughed so loud half the street stopped what they were doing. Mocking this wrinkled, gentle man bent over a patch of dirt, never once realizing that the so-called old fool with muddy knees was about to land a government contract that had flipped the entire neighborhood on its head. Yeah, let that one sink in. See, for months, Mr. Hale was out there every day, sunrise to sunset. Slow and steady, tending rows of weird plants most folks around here couldn't name if you spotted them 10 guesses. The guy moved like a river rock, slow, but unmovable, hands working the earth with this quiet precision, the kind you only see in people who've spent a lifetime learning what nature really needs. But in this HOA, patience reads as weakness and dirt under your nails. Standing at the end of his driveway and tossing snark like confetti. There he goes again, she sneered, loud enough for the mail carrier to hear. 60-year-old bags of soil, rain barrels, rows of whatever those are. What's he trying to do? Turn this place into a farm? The rest of her little council cackled right along, not because they gave a damn about rules, but because power around here runs through Linda. Disagree, and you're next on the chopping block. Mr. Hale heard all of it, of course. He always did. He knew the difference between concern and mockery, the same way. He could spot dying soil by feel. But he never reacted, just pressed a seedling into the earth, patting it like it was an old friend. Someone muttered, "Old people get weird hobbies. At least golf is normal. This looks like a retirement home science experiment gone rogue." Another chimed in, "Maybe we fine him per weed, easy fundraising." Just that cold, casual cruelty of folks who forgot their manners the minute they tasted authority. But Mr. Hale? His back stayed straight, his hands steady, like a man who already knows where this story ends. Now Ethan, this young neighbor with too much energy, jogs by and pulls out his earbuds, clocking the situation. He'd always respected the old man's discipline, even if he couldn't for the life of him figure out what half those plants were. "Morning, Mr. Hale," he called, and the old gardener looked up, giving him this warm, slow smile that said, "I see you, son." That little moment, respect in public, burned the board more than any insult. Linda couldn't stand it. "We'll be issuing a violation," she snapped. "Unauthorized landscaping. Unapproved species. Remove everything in 14 days. Ethan started to argue, but Mr. Hale just raised a hand, calm as rain. "Thank you for letting me know," he said, steady as an oak. "I'm sure it'll sort itself out." That stumped them, bullies expect. Anger, not roots deeper than their rules. While they strutted away, Mr. Hale went back to his work, tinkering with his drip irrigation, adjusting valves, checking rain barrels. The setup wasn't clutter. It was engineering. Rain capture, compost, custom seed trays, soil monitors, all-purpose, no flash. Ethan lingered. "Sir, why not just comply? They're always after you." The old man wiped his hands, easing back on his heels. "Some gardens take time to bloom. Some lessons take time to teach. Let him talk. The earth listens better." Ethan didn't get it, not yet, but there was something about the way Mr. Hale spoke, like standing next to a slow-moving river. Across the street, Linda watched from behind the blinds. She hated being ignored. Control needs acknowledgement, Mr. of hiding the first. And suddenly, the place transformed. Plants nobody recognized, neon green shoots, iridescent flowers blooming at dawn, leaves shimmering in the morning light, hummingbirds and logs, the kind of data universities beg for, the kind city planners use to win sustainability awards. But he was content to listen to leaves and teach in silence. Neighbors snuck peeks. Except Ethan. He came by every day now, helping carry water cans, listening, learning by watching. "Where'd you learn all this?" he asked one day. "Looks like a research lab, not a backyard." The old man just smiled. "You learn more from listening to the soil than shouting at the world. People chase control. Plants chase harmony. Which lasts longer? Not arrogant, just certain." Ethan nodded, not quite getting it, but feeling the weight of the answer. The board watched him, hawk-like, mistaking a scientist for prey. Their plan was intimidation, but intimidation only works. He installed solar drip lines. Every improvement was a quiet, "I dare you." Real strength needs no permission. He caught the whispers, the sideways looks, the attempted isolation, but he'd been here. He wanted it to be undeniable. And then the neighborhood started to shift. People began to linger at dusk, neighbors who just happened to be passing by, marveling at the twilight shimmer of the garden. Rumors flew. Is he with a university? Did he invent those plants? Retired scientist? The board, feeling the slip, accused him of operating a commercial site without permits. Mr. Hill didn't protest. He folded the notice into a binder labeled HOA nonsense and kept measuring water flow, serene as a monk. That calm, that scared them worse than a fight ever could. One night, tweaking equipment under lantern light, his walls lined with old photos, him with scientists, in fields across continents, at summits, proposals stamped confidential, waiting for review at the Department of Environmental Development. He never bragged. Real achievement doesn't need applause before it blooms. And while the HOA lost sleep over petty paperwork, federal officials lost sleep reviewing his data. Behind those quiet eyes, a countdown was running, not to punishment, but to recognition. He didn't want revenge. He just knew it was coming, naturally, like a season you can't. Powerless. Government SUVs rolled in, environmental agency logos glaring, suits and badges stepping onto manicured lawns. Linda straightened her jacket, convinced she was finally about to witness the old man's downfall. Finally, they're here to shut him down, she hissed. The inspectors walked right past her, straight to the garden. This is remarkable, the lead muttered, kneeling at the drip. Ethan fist bumped the air. Linda, Phil, and Sandra looked like they'd swallowed their own tongues. Mr. Hale just nodded, quiet, gracious, unbothered by the spectacle. Let them talk. He murmured to Ethan, who could barely contain his excitement. You just beat the HOA and got a government contract. Ethan laughed. The old man's eyes were calm, ancient. Great trees grow because. Linda suggesting maybe they could work together now. Mr. Hale's answers were simple, final. You weren't interested in understanding. Only control. Respect doesn't follow power. Power follows respect. They slunk away, shrunk, exposed. From then on, neighbors visited his garden for advice, for hope. Kids asked about parks and butterflies. Some brought pies as apology. Others offered the new standard. Reporters showed up. Mr. Hale talked science, never drama. Growth should not be overshadowed by pettiness. Children painted signs, growing hope, nature wins. Teens volunteered. Retirees brought gloves and stories. And the HOA? Reduced to background noise, irrelevant as old grass clippings. On the last morning, a teacher brought her students. Would you show? Approached, asking to help. Gardens forgive. People can, too. Someone left a wooden sign at his gate. Respect every seed. You never know what it will grow into. And that was the lesson. Order, or the people who nurture growth. Would you rather follow fear or respect? Drop your answer below, because, honestly, every community's got its own Mr. Hale just waiting to bloom.